across now to one of India's foremost contemporary historians, a man who understands West Bengal much better than most others, and now national spokesperson of the BJP, MJ Akbar, is joining us in the newsroom. Mr. Akbar, thank you and welcome to the newsroom. Now, Mamata Banerjee is making 64 files that are lying with the West Bengal government public tomorrow. Do you think the time has come for the Modi government to do the same, sir?
Well, you know, Rahul, these files have been very contentious. They have a history, a very mysterious history. I mean, and if you're doing a story on them, I actually fully understand. It's not just you who's curious. I think the nation is not only curious, but actually quite concerned. What precisely is the reason why these files have not been made public by Congress governments and their occasional successor governments for so long? There's always been a sense of severe doubt about the official story about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's quote-unquote air crash death. And the supposition is that these files contain some clues about whether he really died or not. Now, I think it is my understanding, obviously we will know this only when the actual files in Bengal are released, but my understanding is that these files of Bengal perhaps, and I am trying to be guarded and cautious, perhaps may not deal quite with this subject, but with different aspects of the complex story of a great hero of India, Netaji Subhash Bose.
So we've looked at some of the details that have been made available to our reporters in Kolkata, which suggest that there are letters with the US and the UK government which talk about Netaji being alive post that supposed Taipei crash when he's supposed to have died. Now, if this is true, does that then not increase pressure on the Modi government to actually unravel this big mystery, sir?
Well, there is certainly a case to be made for what you say. All I can say, and I've been watching this both as somebody in media and somebody who's written books on this subject and somebody who admires Subhash Bose greatly for a large number of reasons, that I dare say that there is some validity in what you say, that there will be pressure. But I will say this, that no government has been as proactive in the effort to try and find out and to see what can be done about these files than the present Modi government. No government has been as proactive.
So, but they haven't done anything. When the BJP government, when the BJP was in opposition, they said we'll make these public. When they come into government, they don't want to do that, sir.
No, I think you have, you're just, what shall I say, playing a few games with the truth. The fact is that a committee has been appointed. The committee is examining this problem. It's looking at the full ramifications of it. The Prime Minister has met the Bose family or well, shall we say, some members of the Bose family who are very keen. There are other members of the Bose family, surprisingly, who don't seem to be so keen. But the Prime Minister has met them, I think, more than once. And the Prime Minister has given an assurance that he is doing his very best to get at the truth. And it's not just the government, I think the nation is very keen to know precisely what happened. We all believe and understand that there are difficulties and ramifications.
No, but what are these ramifications, sir? Because, so what could these ramifications be in your view? Because you're also a top historian, you've researched this subject far more intensively than anyone else. The government in Japan has long changed. The government there's no Soviet Union any longer. Even in Britain, things have changed. So what ramifications are we so worried about? What could those files possibly contain which is material to what's happening in the world now?
I really wish that I could answer that question with candor. Since I'm not privy to what is in those files, it is very difficult to give anything which would be substantive in terms of an answer. But the very fact that these files have created and aroused so much interest means that there is something that would possibly be very controversial. Beyond that, it's very, very difficult to say anything. But what I do know, and what I can say with assurance, that the present Prime Minister is trying very much to do his best to get as much of the truth as possible on this very contentious subject. What we can say is that, very interestingly, the one party which doesn't want those files out is the Congress. I haven't heard any congressperson actually demanding that the files be revealed. Perhaps those files will tell us why the Congress is so keen to keep them
But that
quiet.
makes it even more politically expedient for the BJP to reveal those files. If the Congress comes out looking bad, that works well for the BJP government. Why then the delay?
I think, Rahul, you misunderstand the BJP government. The Narendra Modi government doesn't do things because it will upset the Congress or indeed make the Congress happy. The Narendra Modi government will do things only in the national interest, not in the interest or otherwise of any decaying or sort of ebbing force like the Congress.
I'm going to leave it over there. Mr. M.J. Akbar, for joining me on the newsroom tonight with your thoughts. Thank you very much. You're saying a case can be made for the Netaji files to be put out, and you're saying the Prime Minister is working hard to try and find a way to be able to do so without compromising national interest. I want to go across now to Ardendu Bose. He is one of the nephews of Subhash Chandra Bose, and he's joining us from Pune tonight. Thank you very much, Mr. Bose, for joining me. You've just heard from M.J. Akbar saying that the government has a committee that's working on trying to make these files public. Do you believe that the time has come, now that Mamata Banerjee is declassifying the 64 files that the West Bengal government has, for the Prime Minister to walk the talk and put these files out and end India's biggest mystery?
Well, Rahul, there's a process to be followed, and I'm sure the Prime Minister is aware of the fact that the process to be followed to do anything constructive as far as the government is concerned, and even as far as declassifying these files, which have been lying hidden for 70-odd years for reasons only known to the previous government. So I'm sure Mr. Modi will be working towards declassifying the files, and I may tell you now that the family has received a message from the PMO that the Prime Minister would like to meet us, some of us, sometime during the month of October. I guess discussion will be taken at that point of time, and further progress will be done as far as declassifying of the files is concerned. Now, having said that, yes, the fact that Mamata Banerjee has now declassified 64 files, and the centre would also follow suit, but as I said, there's a process to be followed to do that.
Tell me, Mr. Bose, what is it that you intend to take up with the Prime Minister when Netaji's kin meet him? When will this meeting happen, and will you like to put a time limit that we've been waiting for 60 years now? It's time to end this mystery, and let there be a definite timeline to this, sir.
Yes, we are going to request that, Rahul. I mean, I don't think we are in a position to insist on a certain timeline. It's not only the family that would like to know the mystery of Subhash Chandra Bose. I'm sure many of the people in this country, and also mainly in Bengal, and also the other parts of the country, I dare say, would like to know, to clear the mystery of the disappearance of one of India's leading personalities.
Have you received any indication yet from the Prime Minister's office when this call came that the Prime Minister is willing to proactively consider making these files public, especially after what the Mamata Banerjee government has done?
No, we have not received any indication there, but as I said, it's a positive sign. The Prime Minister has expressed his desire to meet us in mid-October. So obviously that means, I hope it means that things will move and go forward.
So you're hoping by mid-October this story will reach its finale and India will finally know how its beloved freedom fighter Subhash Chandra Bose died, under what circumstances, and if it wasn't in Taipei, then that really is something that people will hold against Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and everybody else who's been involved in this cover-up, because this is not what you do to one of India's greatest sons. For the time being, Ardindu Bose, for joining me on the newsroom tonight, sir, thank you very much. Mid-October it is, when the Prime Minister wants to meet the family of Subhash Chandra Bose, and then we'll know whether the government is willing to walk the talk, to do in government, in power, what the BJP said it would do if it got a chance. Thank you very much, sir, for joining me on the newsroom tonight.